Hi, everybody. Welcome to my homestead and welcome to my channel. My name is Jared. If you haven't already, please make sure to subscribe. It happened. we hit 10,000 copies of the Book of Mormon that have been shared. I can't believe that it's gotten this far, frankly. I started it out just because it seemed like a good idea, but it was one of those things like I've tried to do like different things on the channel. I've experimented with different things, and a lot of the time it doesn't work, and so I just go back to the normal way that I do things. And so I thought this might be kind of like that. But I'm actually pretty shocked that today it is the day that we've hit 10,000. So it's going to take just a few minutes before we get going here. I want to give people time to join the stream. Plus, I need to find something really quick. I'm just realizing I want to find the person that was the 10,000th person to share the Book of Mormon. So give me just a minute. If you're here, let me know that you're here and where you're from. Have you participated in the Flood the Earth Challenge? There's no shame if you haven't, but I would encourage you to do so. If you're new, you don't even know what I'm talking about, this is the Flood the Earth Challenge. We're trying to share as many copies of the Book of Mormon as we can with people. Here we go. Found it. Let's see. I'll put this on the screen. I'm going to let her know that I'm doing the live stream right now. I should have done that ahead of time. Hi, you are the 10,000th. Let's see, you have shared the 10,000th copy of the Book of Mormon in the Flood the Earth Challenge. I'm doing a live stream right now. Make sure to join or watch later whenever you get a chance. Thank you so much. And then let's do sunflowers. This is how many she's shared right here, 39 total. So let's see. I'll copy 9 and then delete 2 so that it's 7, because that's my standard. And then let's hop over here. So there it is, 10,000. I have that cell colored in that teal color. That's whenever we hit a new milestone. So in the case of sharing copies of the Book of Mormon, I color it every 100 that we get to. And amazingly, again, you know, it was easier for me to believe that we could get to this point and share 10,000, but I was even less certain about whether this would actually cause anybody to want to get baptized. But it has. There have been 51 reports of people being baptized as a result of you guys sharing the Book of Mormon. I say you guys because I've been participating in this as well, but I haven't, you know, none of my people have said that they're getting baptized or meeting with the missionaries, but that's okay. I'm going to keep going. There's more that I can do. And then of course, like there's like a group of people I'm thinking of that I can still share the Book of Mormon with. And then there's always just those like random opportunities that you come across. But let me take a look at the chat really quick. Deborah Hecht, hi from Big Spring, Texas. I've shared a couple copies of the Book of Mormon. Good job. Catch the Buzz, I appreciate you putting up a notification for the live stream. I saw it, and I'm here from Nampa, Idaho. Welcome, Catch the Buzz. Everyone make sure to subscribe to Catch the Buzz. She has her own YouTube channel. Dustwave Music, Applauds. Lizzieisms. I shared a Book of Mormon several months ago, one baptism later, and my friend is still coming to church. That is amazing. Let me know whenever they go to the temple, because I'm I'm recording that too. Endowments and ceilings. Easy 3-chord country. Yay. This exercise will ring through eternity. Yeah, it will. You're right. For those 51 people, as long as they stay on the covenant path and endure to the end, yes, it will ring through eternity. It's kind of amazing. Kirsten here from Queen Creek, Arizona. There was one more thing I wanted to show you really quick as we get going here. I thought I had everything pulled up. I'm trying to do my best. No, it's not there. It's under another one. I'm trying to do my best to make the challenge interesting and fun. There's only so much I can do, but I have a private spreadsheet, if I could talk today, where I have all my like preset responses according to how many copies of the Book of Mormon you've shared, because I keep the tally for you. So on this spreadsheet, which you can access anytime, the link for my spreadsheets is in the description box below. If you go to the left, I have everybody that's participated in the challenge. If you've hit the channel goal of 10, then I change the color of the text or the numbers to white. That's because like when it gets really dark, like Brandon Price, who's shared 150 copies of the Book of Mormon and has had a baptism, it gets hard to read. And so I changed the color to white for that. But then I was like, oh, I'll just do white for anybody that has gotten to 10, which is the goal. The individual goal, if you're participating, is 10. Please try to at least get to 10, but feel free to go beyond that. And there are many people that have gone well beyond that. Daniel Hershey was 63. And so I have this private spreadsheet here where I just have all these. I'm starting to do this thing where I'm showing you with sunflowers how many you've shared. How many you've shared. It's like you're planting a field of sunflowers. You're now a Book of Mormon sunflower farmer. And I have a little fact or a little tidbit of information that goes along with each number. So, if you get to 20, then I have that's 20 for the first vision of 1820, or 17 for President Nelson, the 17th president of the church, and stuff like that. So hopefully that makes it just a little bit fun. But let's go back to this. Okay, so let's talk about, is this number accurate? The answer is I don't know. So on one hand, I don't know that everybody understands the purpose of the Flood the Earth challenge, so hopefully I can clear this up. I'm trying to get everybody to take something that they normally would not do and then tap into that and make it real. So, you have somebody that you work with and you normally would not share a copy of the Book of Mormon with them. Hopefully, because of this challenge, which is supposed to be a motivational tool, it gives you the motivation to then share that copy of the Book of Mormon with your coworker or family member or whoever. It is not a competition, and it's not a study. I'm not just like, I track a lot of things on the channel. I have all these spreadsheets for like hurricanes and earthquakes and whatever. I'm tracking those. I'm kind of doing like a little study just to see if like we're having more of the signs of the times. But the Flood the Earth challenge is not a study. So if you've been sharing the Book of Mormon, like I've had people say, something to the effect of like, I share, 10 copies of the Book of Mormon a week. And I've been doing that since 1982. Well, that doesn't qualify for the challenge. I'm trying to get you to do something that you aren't already doing. So if you're like, I want to participate in the Flood the Earth challenge, so instead of my usual 10, I'll up it by another 10. So those additional 10 is what I would count toward the challenge. If you have somebody in your life, like a granddaughter, a nephew, whatever, and they were already going to get baptized regardless of whether you gave them a Book of Mormon or not. I'm not counting that, because that's something that would have happened anyway. This is meant to make things happen that would not normally happen. So hopefully that's clear. So that's one reason why I can't really easily automate this, um, because I have to check every single response, and I have to personally do that, because I'm the one that makes that judgment call. And sometimes you guys will say something else in the comment that's interesting, and I may make a video about it. So if I was to have like Jenica go through, my wife, she may miss something important, so I have to check every single one. Sometimes I have to tell people, well, I wouldn't count that, or whatever. So that's one thing that could make this number inaccurate. There may be some people that I couldn't tell that that's something that they would have done anyway, and it just like slipped through. Oh, by the way, at the very end of this live stream, I'm going to read off all the names of everybody that hit the channel goal of 10. So I'm saving that for the end. It's probably going to take a little while, but I want to read all the names. So that's one thing that could make it inaccurate if somebody reported a copy of the Book of Mormon, but it wasn't really in the spirit of the challenge. But on the other side, so that's something that would take the number down. But on the other side, I know for a fact that there are chats and comments and Instagram messages and Facebook messages and emails that I have missed, that have slipped through the cracks. I know that because I've gone back in time and I've come across like old emails, and I'll see somebody said that they shared a copy of the Book of Mormon, but they didn't put #flood, which is up here. I ask that you put #flood in the subject line of the email or in the comment, because that's what I search for. I also search for other words and terms, like I'll search for Book of Mormon, I'll search for BOM, I'll search for B of M, I'll search for missionaries, I'll search for baptized, and words like that, because sometimes people will word it in such a way that that's the only way that I can find it. So I do my best to find all of them, but there's going to be ones that slip through the cracks. If you send an email and it's packed with information, you're talking about something else, like some other, observation or something that you want to share on the channel, and then you squeeze in the fact that you shared a copy of the Book of Mormon, I'm not likely to find that. The longer the email, the less likely I'm going to have time to look through the whole email, because if I'm going to read an email, I'm going to read the whole thing and make sure to respond accordingly. So sometimes I have to skip them, and I may, skip that you've shared a copy of the Book of Mormon. I only count when you report it in the comments of a YouTube video or email, because if you put it in the chat, I'd either have to like update it right then and there, which I can't normally do because I'm in the middle of doing a live stream. And then it's hard for me to like go back and then go through the chat and then find that. So I don't do that. And a while ago, I stopped doing Facebook and Instagram messages. I turned that off for my social media accounts, just because it was too much. I'm trying to funnel it all down to just comments or emails. That's how I communicate with people. So, for those reasons, this number could actually be larger than 10,000. So it's not 100% accurate, and I don't know whether this is over-reporting or under-reporting. I can't tell, but that's not the point. The point of the challenge is simply to flood the earth with truth and with the Book of Mormon. And I want to talk about how this started, like the history of this challenge, because there's a number of people that have been involved in this, starting with Enoch. I'm going to show you how this is all played out from Enoch to me. Okay, so let me go here. We're going to go to Moses chapter 7, verse 62 and verses 62 and 63. And righteousness will I send down out of heaven, and truth will I send forth out of the earth. So this is in reference to the Book of Mormon. To bear testimony of mine only begotten, his resurrection from the dead, yea, and also the resurrection of all men, and righteousness and truth will I cause to sweep the earth as with a flood. So this whole idea of flooding the earth with the Book of Mormon, it originates with Moses, chapter 7, verse 62, with the Lord talking to Enoch. That's where this idea comes from. He's having a vision of the last days. All right, continuing. To gather out mine elect from the four quarters of the earth unto a place which I shall prepare, in holy city, that my people may gird up their loins and be looking forth for the time of my coming. For there shall be my tabernacle, and it shall be called Zion, a new Jerusalem. And the Lord said unto Enoch, Then shalt thou and all thy city meet them there, and we will receive them into our bosom, and they shall see us, and we will fall upon their necks, and they shall fall upon our necks, and we will kiss each other. And there shall be mine abode, and it shall be Zion, which shall come forth out of all the creations which I have made, and for the space of 1,000 years the earth shall rest. Okay, so, and I'm not saying that this flood the earth challenge is the fulfillment of like this prophecy, but it like adds on to it. We're trying to help this along, doing missionary work and flooding the earth with the Book of Mormon. If we go to the Institute Student Manual for this verse, it says, President Ezra Taft Benson explained that the Lord promised that righteousness should come from heaven and truth out of the earth. We have seen the marvelous fulfillment of that prophecy in our generation. The Book of Mormon has come forth out of the earth, filled with truth, serving as the very keystone of our religion. God has also sent down righteousness from heaven. The Father himself appeared with his Son to the prophet Joseph Smith, the angel Moroni, John the Baptist, Peter, James, and numerous other angels, which I have a spreadsheet tracking that, by the way, visions and visitations, and there have been many, were directed by heaven to restore the necessary powers to the kingdom. Further, the ones I'm tracking, it's not all just for restoration, but there have been many visits from the other side, in addition to these ones that came for restoration purposes. Further, the prophet Joseph Smith received revelation after revelation from the heavens during those first critical years of the church's growth. These revelations have been preserved for us in the Doctrine and Covenants. Okay, and then Ezra Taft Benson, at this point, let's see, he was president of the church, October 1988, General Conference, and the name of this talk is Flooding the Earth with the Book of Mormon. Okay, so first Enoch, there may be more that I'm missing, but this is kind of like how I view the timeline of this idea. So Enoch to President Ezra Taft Benson, and he's quoting Elder Bruce R. McConkie at this part of the talk. Few men on earth, either in or out of the church, have caught the vision of what the Book of Mormon is all about. Few are they among men who know the part it has played and will yet play in preparing the way for the coming of him of whom it is a new witness. So again, just like Enoch, this is like the Book of Mormon plays a critical part in preparing the world for the second coming. The Book of Mormon shall also affect men, that the whole earth and all its people will have been influenced and governed by it. There is no greater issue ever to confront mankind in modern times than this. Is the Book of Mormon the mind and will and voice of God to all men? End quote. And that's from Millennial Messiah. So Millennial Messiah, it's being quoted in General Conference. I really think that it's a pretty key book to understand the prophecies having to do with the second coming. And then President Ezra Taft Benson says, we testify that it is. Now, my good saints, we have a great work to perform in a very short time. We must flood the earth with the Book of Mormon and get out from under God's condemnation for having treated it lightly. I challenge the members of the church to participate in the Family to Family Book of Mormon program to send copies of the Book of Mormon on a mission for you. Sister Benson and I have been doing this for some time now, and we intend to do more. We should be sending out millions of copies of the Book of Mormon to the missionaries every month. Well, so far, you guys, we haven't done millions as part of this challenge, but 10,000 is a pretty good number. And we know that those copies of the Book of Mormon actually went to people. So that's pretty good. And we're going to go further. We'll talk about that in a minute. Okay, next, this is what started it on my channel. I got this email from Chelsea Newman, subject line, Elder Rasband this day, talk about flooding the earth. Hi, Jared. I'm a longtime listener of your channel. Thanks for all your hard work. Oh, yeah, by the way, she sent this on November 29th, 2022. It was recently pointed out to me that Elder Rasband's talk highlights that President Nelson has asked us to flood the earth with the Book of Mormon. So now President Nelson. I pulled his talk up after hearing this and found it interesting that the flood phrase is the highlighted quote. Tying this whole flood concept with Sister Nelson's Alberta devotional has me drawing my own conclusions. I would be interested to hear what you think about it. So she's referring to it was the devotional right after October 2022 General Conference. It was for Alberta and British Columbia. And she put like a quote up from her friends as though to like hint to us and emphasize what they said. They said, I'm just paraphrasing, President Nelson, this General Conference was the best. We feel like you've asked us to get on the ark. So, Noah, the ark, the flood, right? We're waiting for the second coming, which is like a corresponding or like a parallel event where the earth is going to be cleansed. This time, not by a flood, but by fire, the baptism of fire. Okay. So I did a video based on her email. I looked at Elder Rasband's talk called This Day from the October 2022 General Conference. And the part, like Chelsea says, that was highlighted, the like little excerpt at the top, is our living prophet is doing his part to flood the earth with the Book of Mormon. We must follow his lead. Let's read just a little bit from this. Our living prophet is doing his part to flood the earth with the Book of Mormon, but he cannot open the floodgates alone. We must follow his lead. Well, I hope that we've done that with his challenge. 10,000, it's a small drop in the bucket, but it's substantial. When you hand them a Book of Mormon, you're opening their minds and hearts to the Word of God. You do not need to carry printed copies of the Book of Mormon with you. You can easily share it from your mobile phone from the Scriptures section of the Gospel Library app. So I have this screenshot from my phone. So think about President Benson talking about like sending millions of copies of the Book of Mormon to these missionaries to share. Well, it's gotten even easier than that. Now all of us can do it virtually. At this point, virtually everybody has a smartphone or a tablet or something like that. You go to Scriptures, okay? This part where you have like the Scriptures at the top, it'll have a banner. I don't know if it's changed since I took the screenshot, but it has a banner at the top, and you see this button that says Share Now. And it'll give you a link that you can send to somebody either by text or email or a direct message or whatever for the Book of Mormon app. So it's like an app specifically for investigators, and it's just the Book of Mormon. So there's no limit at this point. You don't even have to spend any money except for what you pay for internet and for your phone and phone service. So don't hold back. Don't harass people. Don't like keep pressuring people, but share it in appropriate ways and do it in a way that's personal and shows that you're human and not just a robot. We don't want to be Book of Mormon robots. But do it in appropriate ways and take advantage of this. This is new. I don't know how long the Book of Mormon app has been around, but since he's pointing it out in the October 2022 General Conference, it was probably relatively new. So this can usher in a whole new phase of sharing the Book of Mormon, you guys. Okay, so going back to this, my dear friends, as an apostle of the Lord, I invite you to follow our beloved prophet, President Nelson, in flooding the earth with the Book of Mormon. The need is so great. We need to act now. I promise that you'll be participating in the greatest work on earth, the gathering of Israel, as you are inspired to reach out to those who have been kept from the truth because they know not where to find it. They need your testimony and witness of how this book has changed your life and drawn you closer to God, his peace, and his tidings of great joy. All right, and that's the end of his talk. Okay. And then lastly, I wanted to point out something that President Nelson had said. This was from the April 1990 General Conference in a talk called "Thus Shall My Church Be Called." And let's think about this. Okay. Let's use these tools. And this is why. For millennia, methods of farming, travel, and communication were largely unchanged from ancient techniques. Developments since the birth of Joseph Smith, however, have risen in remarkable contrast. Joseph Smith had long been foreordained as God's prophet for the restoration of the gospel in the fullness of times. 25 years after his birth, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints was officially organized. Later, in that same century, the telegraph was developed, the Atlantic Ocean was first crossed by a steamship, and the telephone, the automobile, and motion pictures were invented. The 20th century has been even more extraordinary. Farming has become mechanized. And of course, us here in the 21st century, it's gotten even more exciting. Okay, modern transportation allows travel to nearly any destination in the world within a day or two. Computers have been developed that allow the church to serve living members and to organize information relative to progenitors who live on the other side of the veil. People throughout the world, once little concerned with family history, now search for roots of their ancestral heritage using technologies unavailable a century ago. Long-distance telephone, telefax, radio, television, and satellite communications have become routine. In these latter days, it is possible for the word of the Lord to be broadcast from world headquarters of his church and heard in the most remote areas of the globe. And then later on, he quotes the Lord saying, "I will hasten my work in its time, and that time of hastening is now." Well, he was saying this back in 1990. It is now 2024, and things have really hastened quite a bit. And this is one of those things. So we've been given these tools, so let's use them. If you imagine yourself as a soldier in a war, you have these just like conventional weapons, but then suddenly you're given this like amazing weapon that the enemy doesn't have. Or just something far superior from the rifle you've been using, you'd probably want to use that. And so that's what we've been given. We've been given the Book of Mormon app that we can share so easily. So it's pretty incredible. Okay, let me take a look at the chat really quick. Brandon Porter. Oh, I just pointed you out earlier. Hey, Jared, I finally was able to catch a live stream. Congratulations on 3 years on YouTube, getting 30,000 subscribers, and for reaching your goal, the flood the earth. May God continue to bless you. Thank you, Brandon. It's kind of weird, like all within just like a very short time frame, hitting 3 years, 30,000 subscribers, and then 10,000 copies of the Book of Mormon shared. It's all been within just like a couple weeks. It's kind of interesting how that's worked. Ginger McGovern's here. Amazing. You're doing a great work through small and simple things. Let's do a giveaway to celebrate. Yes, let me know what you mean by that. The books of academia. I shared countless books of Mormon, but I didn't know how to provide you with an unknown tally. So I just sent you a #flood, but you never responded. I'm sorry about that. I don't catch all emails, and I don't know. If it's been more than a few weeks, then resend it to me. Let me know how many, and it has to be copies of the Book of Mormon that you shared because you were motivated by the challenge. Kirsten, I have a few people at work. I'm waiting for the opportunity to share 2 in Spanish and 1 English Book of Mormon. I'll let you know when I get it done. I'll look forward to it. I'm thinking that at this point, what we'll do is we'll try and now the goal will be 50,000. So the first set of goals was to try to get to 10,000 copies of the Book of Mormon shared and 1,000 people that have joined the challenge. So we hit 1,000 people first. And so we changed the goal to 5,000 people. I have 30,000 subscribers. I know that not all of them watch my channel because, I mean, there's so many channels that I'm subscribed to because I saw an interesting video, but I haven't like been back to watch that channel. So I get how it works. But there are a substantial number of people that watch my channel regularly. So I would encourage you to do it, please, because it makes a difference. You know, we may not have like 10,000 baptisms. That would be something else. But it is having an impact, you know. I'm going to keep doing it. In my life, I've never like directly like help somebody, like introduce the church to somebody and then brought them into the church. It hasn't happened for me. The best that I have experienced was actually on my deployment in Afghanistan. So, well, of course, like I went on my mission to Spain, but outside my mission, just as a non full-time missionary, the one thing that I can point to, okay, so we had just gotten to Afghanistan, and so my company was basically covering down on a company that was already there. So they were already fulfilling this function. This was at Bagram Airfield, okay? So we were coming there to take over for them, but it takes time to do that because there was equipment that they had that was going to stay downrange, you know, on the deployment. We were going to take that equipment, so you have to inventory everything and sign for it. And then there's this time that there's like this overlap time that they have to kind of get you up to speed with like what they've been doing during their deployment and whatever. So, and that goes on, in our case, it went on for like a few weeks. So one day I was sitting in the supply room because that was my job, unit supply specialist. And the XO from the other company walked in the door. It was like morning. She walked in, and by the XO, that's, you know, executive officer. She's like basically like the second in command. She was a lieutenant. She was like a first lieutenant, or no, second lieutenant. No, first lieutenant. She walked in, and this was so weird. She walked in, and we're all sitting there, people from my company, people from the other company. And she's like, "You guys, I just had this dream last night." And immediately that caught my attention because I was like, okay, something is happening right now. And she told the dream, and it went something like this, that, you know, she was walking outside. It was like a beautiful area with like fields and gardens and whatever. And there was a river, and she walked to the river, and it wasn't that deep. So she started walking through it to get to the other side, but then the river turned into lava. And she was like, you know, stunned and shocked by that, in a panic. But then she said that her legs like turned into stone, and it protected her from the lava. And she heard a voice from heaven saying something to the effect, she couldn't remember exactly what it said, but she heard a voice from heaven saying, like, these are your 2 pillars and they will protect you. And that was like the crux of it. And so it really had an impact on her, so much so that she came into the supply room and asked anybody if we knew what that dream meant. And I didn't answer right then and there. It was already kind of strange, you know, because I was a junior officer, and here we have this officer that comes in from the other company, and it's like, but later I found an appropriate time, and I was like, "Ma'am, I think I know what your dream meant." And I was able to get a copy of the Book of Mormon because in Bagram there were like church meetings there, like services every Sunday. And so I was able to get a copy of the Book of Mormon from the chapel where we met, and I gave it to her, and I'm like, I think that the two pillars that protected you from the lava, I think that it's the Book of Mormon and the Bible. Uh, these two things together. Have you ever heard of the church? And she said that she had. And so I gave it to her, and she was like very grateful for it. And then I ended up, before she left, she was like, I talked to my mom about what you said, and she thinks that, there's something to that. So thank you so much. And I haven't heard from her since. It wouldn't have really been appropriate for me to like gotten her information because, she was an officer. I was a junior soldier. Just, you don't really do that type of thing. But I hope that later on I can find out what happened if she, you know, investigated further into the church and maybe joined. But either way, I'm going to keep sharing copies of the Book of Mormon. I hope that you do too. You may not see any direct success. There may be things that you find out after this life that, whoa, actually sharing that copy of the Book of Mormon, it did do something. They didn't tell you about it, but they did end up meeting with the missionaries. So you never know. Our job is simply to provide people with an opportunity to come across the church, come across the gospel, the Lord's restored church. Like, don't make that decision for them. It's not our job to say, well, you're not ready or whatever. Just do it and then let them decide. And don't pressure people. Don't be like a salesperson, because that'll drive people away. Just be genuine. And then if you can make it personal, then make it personal. If you can't make it personal, then do it anyway, because something is better than nothing. I've tried to make it personal with every single one that I've shared, but there's some people that I only know as acquaintances, and so I can't make it that personal. I know a lot of you have done things like you've painted on the cover of the Book of Mormon and given it to people. You've included like a written testimony in it. You've highlighted scriptures for the person that you're giving it to. There's so many different things that you can do, and you can be really creative. So just follow the spirit and just try and be personal. Okay, now I wanted to continue, and this will probably end it, and then I'll go through and just name everybody that's hit 10 copies of the Book of Mormon shared or more. That means that you've hit the goal. Okay, so there's this really interesting talk by President Nelson, October 2017 General Conference, called The Book of Mormon, What Would Your Life Be Like Without It? And at this point, this was just shortly before, this was the General Conference before he became president of the church. At the time, he was president of the Quorum of the 12 Apostles. So this is one of those talks that's kind of like unique. It's just like one that you can't really find any other General Conference talk that is quite like it. The part that makes it that way is toward the end, but first I want to read this. Since President Monson's challenge 6 months ago, I've tried to follow his counsel. Among other things, I've made lists of what the Book of Mormon is, what it affirms, what it refutes, what it fulfills, what it clarifies, and what it reveals. Okay, so is, affirms, refutes, fulfills, clarifies, and reveals. Looking at the Book of Mormon through these lenses has been an insightful and inspiring exercise. I recommend it to each of you. During these 6 months, I have invited various groups, including my brethren in the Quorum of the 12, missionaries in Chile, the mission presidents and their wives gathered in Argentina, to consider 3 related questions that I urge you to think about today. First, what would your life be like without the Book of Mormon? Second, what would you not know? And third, what would you not have? Enthusiastic answers from these groups came straight from their hearts. Here are just a few of their comments. Now, I'm not going to read these, but I just want to point out this is one of the times that where he's like highlighted the number 7 because he shares 7 responses from 7 different people, which I have highlighted in these different colors. So we've talked about this before, but that's not the point of this video. Toward the end, oh wait, let's see. Oh yeah, he talks about Voice of Seven Thunders. This is a highlight from a different video. He brings up 7 again. Okay, this part right here. So he does this list of what the Book of Mormon is, affirms, refutes, fulfills, clarifies, and reveals. Okay, so listen to this. Okay, the Book of Mormon is another testament of Jesus Christ. Its major writers, Nephi, Jacob, Mormon, Moroni, and its translator, Joseph Smith, were all eyewitnesses of the Lord. It is a record of his ministry to people who lived in ancient America. It is true, as attested by the Lord himself. The Book of Mormon affirms the individual identity of Heavenly Father and his beloved Son, Jesus Christ. So that's important. Instead of them being one being, they're separate beings. It affirms the necessity of the fall of Adam and the wisdom of Eve, that men might have joy. The Book of Mormon refutes notions that Revelation ended with the Bible. Infants need to be baptized. Happiness can be found in wickedness. Individual goodness is inadequate for exaltation. Ordinances and covenants are needed. So it's not just you accept Christ and then everything's okay and admit that you're a sinner. You have to enter into ordinances, covenants, and endure to the end. And then it refutes the notion that the fall of Adam tainted mankind with original sin. Okay, the Book of Mormon fulfills biblical prophecies that other sheep shall hear his voice. God will do a marvelous work and a wonder, speaking out of the dust. The stick of Judah and the stick of Joseph will become one. Scattered Israel will be gathered in the latter days, and how that will be done by flooding the earth with the Book of Mormon. The land of inheritance for the lineage of Joseph is the Western Hemisphere. Yeah, that's kind of a huge thing. Because without the Book of Mormon, everybody would probably just assume, like, oh yeah, I mean, the land of Israel right now, the modern nation state of Israel, that's where... But no, the entire Western Hemisphere is for Joseph. And the 2 tribes, Ephraim and Manasseh. The Book of Mormon clarifies understanding about our premortal existence, death. It is a necessary component of God's great plan of happiness. Postmortal existence, which begins in paradise. How the resurrection of the body reunite with its spirit, becomes an immortal soul. How to judge by the Lord. Okay, how our judgment by the Lord will be according to our deeds and the desires of our hearts. How ordinances are properly performed, for example, baptism, sacrament, conferring the Holy Ghost. And I'll just point out that the sacramental prayer is found in the Book of Mormon. The atonement of Jesus Christ, the resurrection, the important role of angels, the eternal nature of priesthood, how human behavior is influenced more by the power of the word than the power of the sword. Okay, and then the Book of Mormon reveals information previously unknown. Baptisms were performed before Jesus Christ was born. Temples were built and used by people in ancient America. Which, if the Jews of today, if they knew that, it would probably blow their minds, because they focus so much on the first temple, the second temple, and then the future third temple. They think that it's just that one temple and that's it for the entire world. If they had an honest heart and they believed this, it would blow their minds, and it probably will blow their minds when Christ comes at the second coming, those that remain and convert. Okay, Joseph, 11th son of Israel, foresaw the prophetic role of Joseph Smith. Yeah, that's pretty mind-blowing. Joseph of Egypt saw Joseph Smith, and they have that connection because of their names and because of the similar role that they both played in saving Israel. Nephi in 600 to 592 BC foresaw the discovery and colonizing of America. Plain and precious parts of the Bible have been lost. The light of Christ is given to each person. The importance of individual agency and the need for opposition in all things. Warnings about secret combinations. All right. And I think that's all that I had prepared to share. So it's really exciting. Let's go back to this and look to this. Let me go ahead and look at the chat. David Parrish Sly, congrats. The Big Red Ugly. Did I share the most copies? Laugh out loud. I love this challenge, this channel, and the Book of Mormon. Thank you. Joyce Genealogist. This is Joni, everybody. She lives up in the Kansas City area. Make sure to subscribe to her. She says, yeah, I thought I missed this. Well, I missed 35 minutes so far. Congratulations, everyone, for spreading the gospel of Jesus Christ. Kate Heath. Sorry, just hopping on. We gave out 8 Book of Mormons since we moved to San Antonio, Texas in June. Double high five, or double, well, yeah, double, two high fives with 2 hands up in the air. So excited to share more. Christ is coming soon. Gypsy Tay, Chatelaine. My father always told me, at least you planted a seed. I'm totally proud of you for encouraging us to share the Book of Mormon. 10,000. Thank you for all you do. Jared, totally enjoy your channel. Well, thank you. I'm glad that you do. And, I need to do my part. Like I myself, I'm participating in this challenge. I have more copies of the Book of Mormon to share. But I need to, like, just make sure I point this out in every video. Sometimes I don't, because it's been a while since I've updated it, because it's hard to update. Recently, I've decided, you know what, even if I just update like 1 or 2 people on the tracker before each video, then that would be better than nothing, because that's kind of what makes this work. It's like we're all doing this big collaborative project, but I'm the one that like keeps track of it and presents it. And so I need to like present it as much as possible, because it does have an effect on people sharing the Book of Mormon. Because like when I don't show it in my videos, then I start getting less and less comments and emails. So that's what I got to do to do better. And I can only assume I'm just going to do this for the rest of the time that I have a channel, which I don't even know how long that's going to go for, but I'll just keep doing it until the end. It'd be amazing to get like to a really huge number, like 100,000. Maybe once we get to 50,000, we'll maybe once we get to 50,000, we'll change it to the next goal will be 100,000. And by the way, I don't know if I said this earlier, but we started doing this. The first day was December 2nd of 2022. So just a few days after I got that email from Chelsea. For like the first few months there were just like a ton of people doing this because it was brand new. And then it started to kind of taper off. And then it's been at more or less kind of a steady rate, but I do have that impact on it. If I just have to make sure that I share it as much as I possibly can in each video. I don't like to put it in videos where I'm covering like more like worldly events like wars or some, like if it's like a controversial type issue. So, but for the majority of videos, I can put it in there. Oh yeah, I want to point out, by the way, I have it right here. There was also Lisa Washburn, who is the sisters of Jen Stevens. Jen Stevens is the one that has the Christian Fire Poppy channel. Make sure to subscribe to her. Christian Fire Poppy. She's one of my featured channels. Her sister-in-law, when we first started this, she had this poem that she provided that I put out there that you could like put along with your text or your email. And we'll probably, we'll share. I'll probably put that out there again once we get to, like, say, like things after Thanksgiving here in the United States. Okay, continuing. Rosemary Palika, wait, congrats, Jared. Woo! With a bunch of like, those things with confetti. Cindy Lou, or Sin Lou, good work, Jared, for starting this. Kate Heath, so grateful for all you do, Jared. You're truly making a difference. Thank you. YouTube doesn't just have to be, presentations or interviews. Like, those things are good. That's like most of what everybody does. But I think that you can get really creative and do a lot of things. And this is one of those things. They call YouTubers influencers, and that's very true. It's actually a little scary. So I'm a little bit nervous about my final judgment because of how I've seen my content affect people. There's two people that I'm aware of that said that they were going to go to Kirtland, Ohio, because of like a video that I did. One of them is from Washington. I talked to her on the phone and she's like, yeah, my husband saw your video and he's like, let's go to Kirtland. So I'm just like, what else is happening? Like, some of you people have said that you've like started coming back to church, or you've gone to the temple because of the channel. So I feel like an obligation to do this and like to do the best that I can. Like, I'm not going to be perfect, and I think all of us should do that. If you feel inspired to do a YouTube channel, do it, because you never know how you might influence people for good. And maybe you can come up with some challenge. Maybe someone can do like a go to the temple challenge or something like that. Do family history. Hey, Joni, yeah, maybe you should do one, Joni. Do like a family history challenge. Okay. Oh, and then Jen is here from Christian Fire Poppy. Yay, my fave Lamb of God lyrics. 10,000 gifts could I employ to show my praise, my thanks, my joy. Still not enough to sing thy praise. Wow. They said 10,000 in that hymn. Is that from the hymn book? My fave Lamb of God lyrics. I should have read the rest of the comment from Rob Gardner. Jesus, my Savior. Catch the buzz. Have it always pinned to the top in case you forget to announce it. And even if you do announce it, people still get confused sometimes about what to do. Yeah, maybe I'll do more of that. I do want to like pin more comments. Like, that's something that I've started lately. I'd like to pin like your guys' comments and start doing that more. But maybe I'll do that sometimes. Sherry Ware, wow, great accomplishment. I still have one more to reach 10. Keep going. Yep, you're almost there, Sherry. You and me have been talking lately. Mary JR, I feel bad because I hardly have any friends and they are all members, but shared it with inactive friends and family and a few that are not members. I wish I had more people to give it to. Well, if you're not finding opportunities, then pray. I think it was this last women's conference, like BYU women's conference. President Nelson spoke at the end, or maybe it wasn't BYU women's conference. It may have been like a special Relief Society devotional or something. Do you guys remember what I'm talking about? President Nelson spoke, and I remember him saying, pray to the Lord that he will put you in somebody's path the next day, or that you'll know where he wants you to be the next day, and you'll be surprised the people that you come across and the opportunities that come to you. So you need to like ask for those opportunities. That will probably help you out. And there may be more opportunities than what you realize. Just recently, because most of my sharing of the Book of Mormon during this challenge has been like going through my contact list and people on Facebook. But I had somebody reach out to me because before YouTube, my main thing was graphic design. And I still do it. I'm a freelance graphic designer. And I sell my stuff on these different websites like Cafe Press and Zazzle and Society 6 and places like that. Um, so basically, I have a design, and then I put it on their products, and then if somebody buys their product, like a shower curtain or a bedspread or something that has my design on it, then I get a royalty from that. Well, somebody had come across one of those websites, and then they contacted me personally on my personal Facebook page. They sent me a message, and they're like, "Hey, I saw your hunting camouflage logo or your hunting camouflage design on this website." No, it wasn't that. It was that was another person. No, it was a welding design. It was a I'm going to show you. I want to show it to you because I'm proud of it. Give me just 1 second. No, that's vain. Okay, I'm not going to do that. But it's a cool welding design. And she wanted, like, instead of buying it from the website, she's like, "Can I pay you directly and like have the file so I can like make this hat for my husband?" I was like, "Yeah, sure." It was like, "You know what? Instead of paying me, no, here you go. Look, instead of paying me, uh, what I want in return is for you to read the first chapter of the Book of Mormon and then talk to the missionaries." And I gave her the Book of Mormon app link. And she said that she'd do it, which who knows if she did. But it was a share. Oh, yeah, that's another thing. Let me just review this. Earlier, I was saying that this number is probably not accurate for a couple different reasons. One is some people, they'll report sharing the Book of Mormon when it's not really because of the Flood the Earth challenge. It's just something that they would have done either way. And the point of the challenge is to try and get you to do something that you normally wouldn't do. So for that reason, this number could be lower, but it also could be higher because I haven't gotten to everybody's email. And sometimes people do like these long emails and then like at the end or like in the middle say, "Oh, by the way, I shared a copy of the Book of Mormon," and then I don't see it. Plus I stopped receiving messages on Facebook Messenger and Instagram. It's just email and comments. So there may be a time that you put it there and I didn't see it. So it actually could be higher. But another reason that I forgot to say earlier why the number could actually be higher is because sometimes you will say that like you shared it on your Facebook feed. And because there isn't a way to gauge how many people saw it or clicked on it, I'll still count it as like a share because most likely at least one person like stopped and like maybe looked at it or thought about it. But there's not a way to tell exactly how many. So I'll just count it as one, but it very well could be that when you do that, you have like many different people or a handful of people that actually look at it. So that's another reason why this number could actually be higher. Again, that's not really the point. I'm not trying to be like super accurate. I'm not doing like a study or like a dissertation or something like that. It's just a motivational tool. So the way that I've been updating it, this is where we're at. We're at like 10,000. Whether it's more or less, it's not the point. We're just going to keep going. Okay. Excuse me. Mary JR, is there somewhere I can get free Books of Mormon to give out physical copies? I don't know. I mean, I think you can ask the missionaries, but they're probably not going to give you like you maybe just talk to the missionaries, but otherwise I think you need to buy them. When I was in the singles ward, before I went on my mission, our bishop, he was like doing this thing where he wanted us to have our own copy of the Book of Mormon. I think maybe he was concerned that not everybody had a copy of the Book of Mormon. So he purchased, like some like boxes of the Book of Mormon, like I several boxes worth, but he bought it with his own money. Uh, Jessica, congratulations everyone for making the best effort we can make for spreading Heavenly Father's word. Let's help Jared with continuing to spread Heavenly Father's word. Thank you, Jessica. Yeah, help not just me, help Elder Rasband. He's the one that originally really gave me this idea. Help President Nelson. Let's all help each other. This is a big group project. Sherry Ware, they're inexpensive at the church distribution. Joni with Joyce Genealogist says maybe do a picnic in Missouri. Are you talking to me or to somebody else? I mean, Joni, we can have a picnic. I've gone to Joni's house before, you guys. We've met up a few times, and um, if you're talking to me, Joni, sure, let's do let's do a picnic sometime. Next time that we come up there. Mindy from Temples of Jesus. Everybody, make sure to subscribe to Mindy. She's the one that has the video of Elder Treadway saying that there's only 2 things left before the second coming. And Mindy says, "This is amazing," in all caps with 3 monarch butterflies. Joni, I get the Book of Mormon from the missionaries or our bishop from free. Oh, okay, so maybe talk to the bishop. Maybe they have some. Or maybe he has some. Clean comedy. Okay, I don't know what you're saying. Joni, we could do it at Adamondiaman if they will allow it. We're talking about doing a picnic at Adamondiaman. I must have missed something, Joni. It's whatever you're talking about sounds really fun though. Family history with Chris. I do a family history tracker. Thanks, Jared. You inspired me. Awesome. Do you have a channel? If you have a channel, everyone check see if he has a channel. If he has a channel, then participate in the family history tracker. Mary JR, thanks. Joni says, Jared, I did a challenge in the beginning for attending the temple, but no one participated. I've been thinking about doing something like that again. Yeah, maybe just try it back up. Just keep trying. Try different things. Let's see. Kirsten, hey, Mary JR, they're only $2.50 per Book of Mormon at Deseret Bookstore. Oops, I meant that for Sherry Ware. Lucy Woodstock, I think I missed some stuff, but it's always good to up the goal. Yay, so exciting. Yeah, if you're just joining, this is like we're getting toward the end of the stream. In fact, let's see. Yeah, it's been about an hour. So at this point, you might want to start it from the beginning. We went over a lot of different things, the history of the challenge, how really it started with Enoch, and then Ezra Taft Benson had to use the phrase flood the earth with the Book of Mormon, and then Chelsea Newman sent me the email. Jen Stevens' sister-in-law, Lisa Washburn, has sent me a poem for this, and Elder Rasband did a talk about flooding the earth and using the Gospel Library app. It's been like this chain of events. So we went over that, went over just some of the different things with the challenge, and whatever. So I think at this point, I'm going to go ahead and just read through the names of everybody that has gotten to 10. 10 is the goal. Try and share at least 10. If that happened, if everybody did that, first of all, I'd be swamped and I wouldn't be caught up with everything for a long time. But it would bring this number way, way up. Just out of all the people that have already participated, if everybody got to 10, it would shoot this number way up. We would probably be at 50,000. Okay, so Alessandra Reynolds, and then Allison and Norm Craig, Ann Cox, anonymous. So I have this anonymous row. Just if you want to share anonymously, that's fine too. I just have this one entry for anonymous. April Klein Jones, Avala Kovacic. Let's see, Becky Walton, Ben Nichols, Beth Jukes, Betty Horn, Beverly Garvin, Bonnie N. Sortland, Brandon Price. I wonder, are you still here in the chat, Brandon? Brenda Liebert, Brittany, Carolyn Law, Catherine Alexander, Catherine Bundy, Kathy Konopnicki, Charles Neff, Charlotte Floyd, Cheryl Skews, Chrissy, Christ Camp, Christian Homestead, that's me, Christine Finley, Cinderella, CJ, Daniel Hershey, Daniel, oh wait, no, sorry. That shouldn't be read. By the way, if you've met the goal, if you go to my spreadsheet, if you've gotten 10 or more, I changed the color of the text to white. So that's an easy way to just kind of visualize it. So try and become a white number on the spreadsheet. Daniel Yando, Danielle Braithwaite, Dave Rome, David and Julian McMillan, Don Ireland, Don Nope, Dana Stenerson, Deanne Simpson, Devin Southam, Diane Evanson, Diana Myers, Diane Dillon, Doug Wheeler, DS, Ellie K, Elior Ben Jaconan, Ellie Wright, Ellis Y. Lee, Elsa Carrier, Emily Green, Eric Brinkerhoff, Evelinda Morrill, Faith to Act, Felly Mae Hopper, Fizzwater, Francis Haley, Franny Summerwolf, From Agony to Light, Gary H., Gary Sanders, Gail Stout, George Brunt, Glenda Wheeler, Grace's Daughter, Grace Upon Grace, Grant Cooper, otherwise known as the Big Red Ugly, Gwen Scott, Havenly, Helaman 512, Holly T. Hansen, Horadar 86, Eiley K, Jasynergy 8, Jackie Lampley, Jacob Bradshaw, Jade, Janet Manning, Jared Fitzgerald, Jason Tolman, Jason Yates, Jean Bess, Jenica, my wife. She's been doing the Flood the Earth Challenge. Jen Stevens with Christian Fire Poppy. Make sure to subscribe to her. Jimmy Barr, JJ Johnson, JL Colwell, Joni with the Joyous Genealogist channel. Make sure to subscribe to her. Joanne Sketch, Jody, Joe Bowers, Joey Lappy, Johnny Luhu, Jocelyn Peace, Jose Arevalo, Joshua Robbins, Judy McDonald, Jewel H, Julie Reynolds, Julie Thomas, Julie Timothy, Julio Ozuna, Karina Bidulf, Carrie Goodman, Catherine Christensen, Kadiva, Kelsey Hoon, Ken Babbitt, K. Johnson 66, Karitzi 4, Kylon Rick, Lacey Titus, Lorraine Moore, Leonard Stossel, Leslie Cummings, Linda Grace Cox, Linda Kessler, Lisa Bazell, Lisa Finch, Lisa Washburn. That's Jen's sister-in-law. She's the one that wrote the poem for Christmas, and I'll share that again this like November and December. Little Country Kitchen. She has a spreadsheet, or she has a channel too, by the way. Make sure to check her out. It's like a kind of like a homesteading type channel. Little Country Kitchen. She's in my featured channels. Live Happy. Loretta Mikoliski. Lorraine Quillen. Linda Piscara. Lynn Bilodeau. Malena Tui, and her mom. Mark the Wichita Kid. Maria Flores Contreras. Marilee Cornum. Marquetta Yessen. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing names. It's kind of hard. Mary Fletcher. Mary Rowan. Matthew Hessler. Melanie Hessler. I wonder if they're married. Melissa Wilson. Melissa Munn. Michael Young. By the way, Michael Young also has a channel. It's called, I think it's called Drop the Mic. He's a member of the Tabernacle Choir, so subscribe to him. I have to check. I'm checking my featured channels right now. His channel has actually been growing lately, like quite a bit. Yeah, Mike Drop Music. So make sure to subscribe to him. Michelle Chittister, Michelle Nair, Michelle Westcott, Mopaditi, Mr. Hopeful, Mr. Timmelbo, Nancy D, Nat and Joe Christensen, Natalie Stout, Nikki Humphrey, Olga Landry, Pam H, Pascal DuPont, Patty Jo Stanaway, Paula Dawson, Penny Tidwell, Perfectly Royal, Phil and Malia Waits, Plaid, Preston Brown, Randy Davis, Randy P. C. Tags, Raymond Dimas, or Dimas, I'm not sure, Ricardo Silva, Richard Mundell, Roger West, Ruth Ta'u Tua'a, that is how it's pronounced, by the way, Safru 1, oh no, sorry, my bad, you're still 2 away, I didn't mean to call you out, it was my bad. Sarah Nick, from Switzerland. She is very prolific. We have good conversations. She used to be a Temple Square missionary. Say me. S Fish. Shelly Red Rum Media. Sherry Kennedy. Shiri Cox. S. Moore, Socorro Francisco, Spencer, S. Sace, Stormy Holmes, Susan Lund, Tamara Goodrich, Teresa Lane and Teresa Tingy, Terry Evans, The Chicken News, Thomas Nelson, TMS, Tracy, it's a T Sweets Day, Trina Morford, Tyler Allen, Tyler Heasley, Ursula Byington, so I gotta fix something with somebody else. Okay. What is wrong with me? Like, why? Okay. Wade Liljenquist, Watchman Disciple, Wit B6, Well Breadsguard, Zandalyn Edwards. And then the last one is Zoe L. All right. So that's everybody that hit the goal of 10. If you haven't done it already, if I didn't read your name, try and get to 10. Because remember, even if you don't have success, it's still by all of us doing together, it motivates everybody else. So you may feel like you're not doing anything, it's not really going anywhere, but simply by participating in the challenge, it does help motivate others. So they may see success where you don't, and you have a part in that because you did what you could. Okay, well, I think that's going to be it for this one. So good job, everybody. 10,000. Now we're going to try and shoot for 50,000. The new goal is to try and get to 5,000 people that have participated in the challenge, and then 50,000 people, 50. We'll get to that point at some point. And then 50,000 copies of the Book of Mormon that have been shared. Keep up the good work, everybody. I'll talk to you guys